Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming News. Today is the 15th January 2018. My name is Kralizec and I will be your host for this evening. Today we got 3 interesting news stories for you today. Why did I say today twice? I don't know. But either way, we got 3 topics for you today. First, we're going to talk about a Nintendo Switch emulator being announced. Secondly, we're going to talk about the fact that the upcoming game Anthem will not feature the controversial microtransaction matchmaking system that has been patented by Microsoft. And last of all, we're going to talk about the fact that Netflix apparently has no plans to introduce an app for the Nintendo Switch. But let's begin with the Nintendo Switch emulator, as I personally am most excited about this. So this emulator has been, it's been just announced by the team that has already created a Nintendo emulator, more precisely the Citra 3DS emulator. And we don't really have much information at the moment. They just posted a tweet saying, announcing Yuzu, the first Nintendo Switch emulator that does all the things you didn't need it to do. Stay tuned for more from the Yuzu team. And obviously this is amazing news. There are plenty of Switch games that I would just love to try, but I don't want to buy a Switch purely for that. I was actually talking about this yesterday with Tyler on the podcast. Switch is a great device. It's awesome, but it's still a bit expensive if you aren't buying it as your primary gaming console. It's not, a 3DS. It's not even a regular DS, which would cost you like $100. This is still about double, plus maybe 2.5 times more than what you would pay for a 3DS. That puts it slightly above what I consider what I'm willing to pay for just a casual gaming device that I will take on the go purely, and I will not use it at home, as that would be the use case for the Switch for me. But if emulation comes into play, I might install this emulator into my laptop, and hopefully some games will run on it. And if I will want to try out some games that are originally meant for a Switch, I could potentially play them on my computer, essentially just playing on the peace and comfort of my home. This is pretty amazing. I hope Yuzu will work really well. I hope all the games will work perfectly, even though I'm somewhat pessimistic about that, as especially the bigger titles will probably have some problems. Obviously, the game I personally would want to play on a Switch is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey. I already played a bit of Zelda on the Wii U emulator, but obviously there are a lot of great games that are purely exclusive to the Switch, so this would be a chance for me to play them on my computer. And for anyone else for that matter. Okay, our second topic for today concerns Anthem, the upcoming open world action game, just a normal open world game set in a sci-fi setting. There were some concerns, especially from fans who are really interested in the game, are really hyped about it, after a recent patent has been discovered by Microsoft. Sorry, not by Microsoft. I'm completely spewing bullshit right now. By EA. We actually, again, talked about this yesterday in the podcast, so if you want to know more information, you can find that in the podcast. But just the gist of it, the matchmaking system, one of the factors it takes into consideration is also the willingness of the customer to pay. This caused a lot of concern inside the gaming community, because whenever there's a matchmaking system that takes something like this into plan, people get concerned about microtransactions, especially with EA. So one of the developers, mostly the technical design director Brendan Holmes got involved into the conversation, and he said, "I'm not sure where this is really coming from. We're not doing any of that though." So this hopefully clarifies that there will be no such matchmaking set into Anthem. At the moment, we don't really even know what the monetization system for Anthem will be, as the developers at this moment just haven't decided in what sort of form they want to add microtransactions, or if there even will be microtransactions added into the game. Though I'm going to say there will be, but hopefully it will not be loot boxes. Hopefully Anthem will be the first big game that will say, you know, screw loot boxes, they suck. They're essentially giant slot machines, and we don't want our gamers to get addicted to this aspect of our game. We want them to get addicted to the gameplay part of the game. Okay, a little bit more about this is that they actually said we should be seeing some more information before actually spring or summer comes. Hopefully, maybe even some gameplay footage, which would be amazing, as the game actually does look pretty amazing. And our last topic for today, one that will make Switch owners actually very sad, and that is the fact that Netflix has no plans for an app for the Nintendo Switch. So obviously, if you have a Nintendo Switch, you're probably very happy with it, as many good games have came out. The system has proven to be a good system, working well. There haven't been any like big technical scandals concerning it. Everything seems great and dandy. But it's sort of shitty that you just cannot use Netflix with this, because who doesn't have a Netflix subscription these days? And the Switch just seems like a perfect thing for it. You know, now you don't have to take another device with you. You don't have to take your tablet just to watch Netflix. But you do, because the Switch doesn't support it at the moment. And sadly, there were some people who were asking Netflix directly if there's any word whether we will see or when we will see Netflix for the Nintendo Switch. More precisely, it was done by an account called Nintendo Screens with the double E's. And Netflix actually responded and said, "Hey there are currently no plans for Netflix on Nintendo Switch. We appreciate your feedback on it." This is really sad, as if Netflix was actually available on a Switch, then I actually might be like, okay, I might get it. Because it would actually be one less device that I would have to take when I'm traveling, when I'm going on vacation, or just when I'm going to, like, you know, I don't know, to do some bureaucratic stuff, and I know I will be waiting 4 hours in line. I would take the Switch, I could watch some Netflix, and then play a game. Right now, I can only play a game, and to be honest, I'm not always in the mood to play for 4 hours straight. And if I could have the option to actually switch out to a different activity, that would be very, very nice. And sadly, it's not available at the moment. And with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving us a like, a thumbs up here on YouTube, subscribing to our channel. If you're watching this on Steam, an upvote is always appreciated. And if you want to, you can follow our blog, as we are your daily source of daily gaming news every single day. I know I repeated that many times. Either way, be sure to leave us a comment, as we are very interested in your opinions. And that's pretty much it. So, see you guys later with more gaming content.